cousins, besties, friends, queens. My name's Anastasia. I'm the Soft Life Therapist. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm here to help guide you into your soft girl era. Okay? So let's talk about self-care. Like, those are what mainly my videos are about. I believe that reading, educating yourself, even entertaining yourself through books, all of that is a part of self-care. You're accessing knowledge that maybe you didn't have access to before, or exposing yourself to new ideas or themes that maybe you never had before. I believe that's all a part of self-care of the mind. So yeah, self-care is important, self-care is vital. Self-care is not an option. Self-care is required. So let's jump right into this girl talk. Did you know that most Americans read less than 4 books per year? Now, the avid readers, they read about 12 books or more per year. Did you used to be into reading when you were a kid and then you kind of fell off because of work or school or whatever? You only read for college or grad school, you stopped reading for fun or personal development? Do you just want to be smarter? When you go to those galas, those tennis matches, the Kentucky Derby, the orchestra, when you go to these amazing events and you're talking to people, do you want to sound well-read, intelligent, self-aware, knowledgeable? Boom, boom, boom. Let's read more books. So in this video, I'm going to share with you about 6 life-changing books that I have read. I've read so many books, so I'm probably gonna do a part 2, part 3, part 4 to this maybe. Just last year alone, I think I read 21 books. So in this video, I just selected 6 books, and I'm gonna talk to you about maybe 6 top books that helped change my life. All right, so book number 1. Here is one of my top books that really helped change my life. This book is called The 4 Agreements, The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. Love this book. Just quickly, I'll read to you what the 4 agreements are, but you have to read the book to just get more of his explanation of what these things mean. But the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, always do your best. So those are the 4 agreements. Highly recommend this book. That book really helped me. It was a reminder that the power of life and death is in the tongue. It was a reminder for me to not speak ill over myself, to cast curses on myself, to speak poorly about myself, to talk bad about myself. The book reminded me of that. And the book also reminded me to be careful what I say to other people. Don't talk down to others. And for me personally, a way that I sometimes use my word that is not the best is sometimes I overcommit myself. Girl, you want to go to brunch? Yes. Girl, you want to go on this cruise? Yes. Girl, you want to go skating? Yes. You want to go bowling? Yes. So people are inviting me to do things and I'm saying yes to everything. We can't say yes to everything. And when you overcommit yourself and say yes to everything, you may have to let people down or not keep your word. So for me personally, I want to always keep my word. The promises that I make to myself, I want to keep them. And I also don't want to overcommit myself to others and not keep those promises. So Miguel Ruiz, he doesn't go deep into detail necessarily about overcommitting yourself with others, but he does talk about just being impeccable with your word. So I love that part of the book. The book is just fire. Just always do your best. Just the 4 agreements are fire. Highly recommend. Very helpful book. Another book that I would recommend, life-changing book, is The Davenports. So there's 2 of these books. At the time of this video, I think there's a 3rd one in production. But yeah, The Davenports by Krystal Marquis. The Davenports More Than This. So this is the 2nd one, I believe. But the first Davenports book is really great too. So I highly recommend these as a series. I really like the Davenport books because it shows like African American history. Even though this book is fiction, it's based on real history. So back in the past in the United States, there was a car company called the Patterson Car Company that rivaled a car like Ford maybe. And it was a Black-owned company, and it showed just Black people being wealthy. So I love this book because it's like a book from the past. It's historical fiction, so it shows African Americans in the past. And I love this book because it's not all about the struggle. Like, this book doesn't just show African Americans historically in the United States experiencing being enslaved, or experiencing segregation, or experiencing Jim Crow or some kind of racial trauma. I mean, there are like social rights activists in this book that are fighting against Jim Crow, but the point of these Davenport books is not just all about the African American struggle. It's fiction, but it's based on real true life, that there were African Americans in the United States that were wealthy, that weren't constantly struggling. Now, did they experience racial oppression and prejudice, racism? Yes. But it's not the focal point of the book. So it doesn't downplay it. These books very much show that those themes were alive and well in the United States. But I love this book because it shows that there are African Americans who have businesses, that have legacy. It doesn't perpetuate this stereotype that all African Americans in the US are poor. So love this book. Highly recommend the Davenports as a series. Love it, love it, love it. The next book I'll talk about with these 6 books that have changed my life is this book. It's called Foundations. It's called Foundations, 12 Steps to a Divine Relationship by Dr. Takesha Rudd. Highly recommend this book. It's by Dr. Takesha Rudd. I love her. She's a friend of mine. She's someone who's mentored me. She's someone who's been on my women's ministry podcast, my Sister Circle of Christ. Can't say enough good things about Dr. TK. She's a psychologist who mentors a lot of Black women to help them start their own private practice as therapists. Highly recommend her. This book, Foundations, is fire. Like, on the cover of the book, it shows different foundations of a healthy romantic relationship. And it shows trust and communication, intimacy, money, role expectations, children and family, career goals. So it shows a bunch of different things. I love this book, Foundations. Oh, I forgot Dr. TK signed it for me. That's super cool. I forgot about that. But this book is amazing. When I do couples counseling with my therapy clients, this is one of the books that I recommend when I'm kind of touching on Gottman things and talking about love maps. I recommend this book because it has a bunch of different topics in here, you know, peer relationships, spirituality, how to handle conflict, parent and in-laws, mutual expectations, living arrangements, the meaning of commitment. So this book is great if you are a couples counselor, or if you are in a romantic relationship and you and your partner are trying to get on the same page. Maybe you want to use this book during like couples counseling, premarital counseling. Maybe you want to use this book as like a getting to know you like questionnaire tool to help you and your partner get to know each other better, set expectations for your marriage, set expectations for your relationship. Like, how often do we want to be having sex? What are our beliefs and our values around money? If one of our parents gets sick, or when our parents become elderly, are they moving in with us? Are they going to the nursing home? Like, this book really just outlines all the questions for you and your partner to ask one another so that you can have a healthy dialogue and get on the same page in your relationship. So highly recommend the Foundations book by Dr. TK. Highly, highly, highly recommend. The next book I'm going to talk about with these top 6 books that have changed my life, that I'll probably do a part 2 to, is this book by Lecrae. This book is called Unashamed by Lecrae. Those of y'all that know me know that Lecrae is my favorite rapper. Love this man down. Love Lecrae because he's like the Jay-Z of Christian hip hop. Even though he doesn't specifically call himself a Christian rapper, but he talks about God, he talks about Christ. He talks about his relationship with Christ. I love his music as an artist because it's music that I can listen to that doesn't have any curse words. He's not telling women to bend over and make it clap. He's not necessarily talking about violence or glorifying violence in his music. He's not glorifying drug use. He's not glorifying like partying in an irresponsible way. Like he glorifies partying for Christ. I can't say enough good things about Lecrae. I think I've seen him in concert like 5-6 times. So this book, Unashamed, is really good. I think so far Lecrae's written like 2 or 3 books. This book, Unashamed, is really good. He talks about his life's journey. He talks about his childhood. He talks about experiencing abuse. He talks about what it's like growing up with an absent father, a blended family. He's someone who didn't grow up in the church, so he decided to give his life to Christ as an adult when he went to college, I believe. He talks about how he started his record label, how he met his wife. He talks about fatherhood, being a black man in America, experiencing racism. Highly, highly, highly recommend this book. I think it's a great book for people that love music, love hip hop. I think it's a great book for Christians. I could not let this video go by. It wouldn't make sense if I didn't show this book. This is my book. This book is called Dweller in the Valley, Wounds of an Emerging Queen. Ignore the fact that I need to fill in on my nails, y'all. But this book is called Dweller in the Valley, Wounds of an Emerging Queen. The book is written by me, Anastasia. Highly recommend. There's me on the back. Well, of course I recommend it because I wrote it. So this book changed my life because I wrote it. You know, as a kid growing up, I saw my mother be a writer. My mother was a poet. May she rest in peace. My mother was a poet and a songwriter. She went to Berklee College of Music. My mother was an amazing writer. She even wrote a book that she never published. You know, my mom passed 10 years ago. But that's kind of like a dream that I saw her have, and I think that dream kind of got passed down to me. And I kept kind of speaking that out loud and speaking that to God. I didn't know how to publish a book, and then I ended up finding Nia Shade Akinyemi on Instagram, and she became my author coach. And I wrote this book from my heart and my soul. And Nia and her team, the Literary Revolutionary, they edited my book. One of my really good friends, Farrah Gregg, she did the cover art for my book. Just so much blood, sweat, tears went into this. I think writing the book, just the process of writing the book was very revealing to who I am as a person, my determination and devotion to get it completed. Just a lot of my personal emotion went into the book. This book is fiction. It's a fictional story. But even though the book is fiction, there are still lessons to be learned in the book. I wrote the book for women to help women to spot red flags when dating, you know, to be able to heal from a breakup, just all the things, romantic relationship stuff. I wrote this book because I wanted to help women be able to identify what is a toxic relationship, and how do I know what a toxic relationship is, and how do I get away from a toxic relationship? What do I need to do? Because sometimes we get into these relationships because the guy, he's so handsome and he's so charismatic, and girl, he's fine. He's got a six-pack, he's got muscles, he's got the gift of gab, he's got a lot of stories to tell. And then we just fall for him. And sometimes we fall for a man, he ain't got no job, he ain't got no car, he ain't got no education, no vision. He just wants to party, drink and smoke, go out with his friends, don't want to prioritize you, sell drugs, go to jail. You know, we've all had some experiences with those types of men. And so, yeah, this book kind of shares a story like that. A young woman who gets into a relationship with a gentleman who he doesn't really have a vision for his future. And the book just kind of goes through what she does to realize, I need to get out of this relationship. I need to get some help. Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to see a therapist? Do I need to see a life coach? Do I need to pray? What do I need to do to heal, be the best version of myself, and not be involved with a dysfunctional romantic relationship? So I wrote this book. If you like fiction, it kind of has low-key, like a Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier kind of vibe. She is my favorite author. But yeah, highly recommend my own book. Yes, toot your own horn, ladies, toot your own horn. The last book I'm gonna put in this top 6 books that have changed my life, and again, I can't even just narrow it down to just 6, because I don't know, I've probably read hundreds of books in my lifetime. But for the purposes of this video, top 6 books that have changed my life. It would be out of pocket if I didn't show this book, the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible. It would be out of pocket. This is the King James Version. King James Version. It would be out of pocket if I didn't talk about the Bible. The Bible has changed my life. You know, my parents and my grandparents introduced the Bible to me very young. We used to kind of read the children's Bible stories. My grandmother had the Bible on cassette tapes, like a children's Bible that we used to listen to in her Jeep as kids, taking rides places. They had cute little Bible songs on the tapes, like, who built the ark? Noah, Noah. Who built the ark? Brother Noah built the ark. Like, just super cute stuff. But yeah, my parents and grandparents introduced me to the Bible when I was young. The Bible just has so many lessons in it for life, lessons that are applicable today. I love reading the Bible. I love just being reminded of Christ's sacrifice, you know, because none of us deserve to be here. All of us are sinners. All of us do bad things and think bad thoughts, and we make mistakes. And yeah, we don't got to be out here like sacrificing animals and asking God to forgive us. Like, Jesus Christ gave the ultimate sacrifice and sacrificed himself. So we don't have to put ourselves down or punish ourselves. We just have to try to do better, live better, be kind to one another, love one another. I love Jesus because Jesus loves women. Just when we look at history, there are so many examples in history of women being mistreated, women being assaulted, taken advantage of, women not having the right to vote, women being treated as property, arranged marriages that women didn't want to go into, just all types of things we have seen women go through historically. Women not being allowed to work unless there was war, just all types of things. And I just love how in the Bible, Jesus is so compassionate to women, like the woman at the well. Jesus was so kind and compassionate to the woman at the well. The woman that was caught in the act of fornicating, adultery, and the men in the town wanted to stone her. And Jesus began to write something in the sand, and maybe he was writing down the names of all the men that were there and wrote down their sins, who knows. Jesus began to write something in the sand as these men were picking up like boulders, like big stones. They're about to stone this woman because she was caught in the act of fornicating. And Jesus was like, let the person with no sin cast the first stone. And then he released that woman. Jesus told that woman, just go and sin no more. You know, he saved her from being stoned. You know, Jesus showed compassion on Mary and Martha. He raised their brother Lazarus from the dead. Like, child, I love me some Jesus. And I love how we live in a world that doesn't always treat women well. Women don't get paid as much money on the dollar at work for our salaries. You know, women get hurt by their romantic partners sometimes. Women are handling most of the domestic duties in the home. There isn't always fair distribution of domestic duties in the home. Like, there's just so much that women go through. And I just love that in the Bible. I mean, I would say in the Old Testament, you know, it's kind of hard because you see women go through a whole bunch in the Old Testament. But I just love in the New Testament seeing how Christ just loves on women, is kind to women. Just love it, love it, love it. So before I wrap up this video, I just want to read you one of my favorite scriptures out of the Bible. And this is the first scripture that my grandmother ever taught me as a child. She taught all of us kids this verse as children, and it stuck with me. It's Philippians 4:13. And it says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I just want to explain it a little bit because a lot of times people say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And yeah, you can do all things. You can write a book, you can start a business, you can get that job, you can learn how to swim, you can learn how to sew, you can learn how to do hair, you can produce a movie. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. So a lot of times people use this scripture, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, as an affirmation or as empowerment, that they can just do whatever they want to do. I get that. But if you read the verse before it, Philippians 12, he says, I know how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer in need. Verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So a lot of times people misunderstand that verse, but basically what it means is I know how to live with a little and I know how to live with a lot. I know how to be grateful when I have an abundance, when I'm wealthy, when I have everything I need. I know how to be grateful and happy and content. I also know how to be grateful and happy and content when all I have is a cup of noodles, when I don't know how I'm going to pay the light bill, you know, I don't got enough gas in my car. Like, I'm still going to be content, happy, and grateful, even when I'm not living in abundance, even when my stomach is growling. I'm still going to be content and trust God. And then he goes on to say, I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. So yes, you can do whatever you want to do, write a book, buy a house, start a business, get that new car. Yes, you can do whatever it is you want to do in Christ if it's God's will. But what that verse is specifically about is, I know how to live with a little, and I know how to live with a little, and I know how to live with a lot, because I can do all things with Jesus Christ who strengthens me. So anyway, that's my favorite verse. I just wanted to share that with you. And these are 6 books, 6 books that I have found to be life-changing. The 4 Agreements, The Davenports, Unafraid by Lecrae, Foundations by Dr. TK, Dweller in the Valley by yours truly, and of course the Holy Bible, because that's just my foundation. So those are my book recommendations. Keep in mind that the average American may read less than 4 books a year. Some people only read 1 book a year or 0 books a year. So if you're someone that wants to read more, educate yourself, I highly recommend getting into books. Get yourself a library card. You don't have to spend all your money on books. You can listen to audiobooks. But my point is, educate yourself, lean into personal development, even entertain yourself with books, but just keep your mind moving. Always be becoming the best version of yourself, the person who you truly want to be. All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. Again, my name is Anastasia. I am the Soft Life Therapist. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I'm here to help guide you into your soft girl era. I'm here to help you be your own best friend. Okay? Remember, even though I am a licensed professional counselor, I am not your personal therapist. So if you do need a therapist, go through your primary doctor, go through your insurance company, look at resources online like BetterHelp, ThriveWorks, Psychology Today, Therapy for Black Girls, Therapy for Black Men. There's a whole bunch of different resources out there, community centers, churches. Get in where you fit in. Find a psychologist, a social worker, an LPC, find somebody. These videos are meant to be informational. I am not your personal therapist. These videos are not meant to replace therapy. Just some tips from your good sis, because I want to help you live your best life, and I love you dearly. Don't forget to connect, create, and crown. Connect to yourself, connect to God, and crown yourself because you're royalty. Like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I love you so much, and have a great rest of your day.